everybody, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about why it's actually good to make bad art or art that you're not exactly proud of. Whilst I'm talking about that, I'm going to be painting this horse, and if you are interested in prints, they are available over on my Etsy store. Also, for the horse that I'm drawing, I do have the real-time version of this available on my Patreon if you just want to learn how I painted this horse and learn all of my tips and techniques. Also, as always, because I get loads of comments, the materials are listed in the description below. So if you are interested in anything that I'm using, make sure you head over to the description and it's all written down for you. But anyway, so today I'm talking about bad art in quotations, because is there anything like bad art? But in particular, art that you're not particularly proud of or that you're unhappy with, and why it's actually okay to make pieces like that and why it can be a good thing. So normally when you do pieces of artwork that you're not happy with, there's normally a reason why you don't like them. And this gives you something to change and improve on for the next time. So for me, when I make pieces of art that I don't really like, I don't see them as things that I should just throw away and forget about and act as if they didn't happen. I take it as an opportunity to think about, okay, why didn't I like this piece? What is it about it that I don't think that I did well? Why is it not what I expected it to be? Like, for example, with this horse, I was not particularly proud of this piece. I don't really like this piece because it's not what I envisioned it to be. So I think that I went too far with this piece, especially towards the end. I think that I should have stopped further along the watercolor process and went in with the fine liner and gouache a lot earlier, rather than adding like the second layer of watercolors. And that doesn't mean this piece of art is bad just because I don't particularly like it and it's not one of my favorites. Because you guys could really like this piece and you might like it better this way than the way that I actually wanted it to be. So it doesn't mean that this art piece is bad. It just means that it's not what you thought it was going to be. So like, it's not what I thought it was going to be. So it's not something I'm happy with. So you've got to bear in mind, when you make bad art that you think is bad, other people might not actually think it's bad at all. People might really like it. But remember that you're probably fixating on the negatives of that piece rather than all of the things you did well. So even if you make pieces of artwork that you think are really bad, make sure that you try to see some of the positives in them, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be some. So make sure that you think, what did you actually do really well in that piece? I'm pretty sure there's going to be something that you like about the work. And even if there is a lot of negatives that you don't like that you did, don't think of them as bad things and don't think of yourself as a failure. Just think of them as opportunities for growth and things that you can now improve on for the next piece. And so you can look at how you actually want to improve that and set yourself targets. So I have got another video called Why Practice Doesn't Necessarily Make Perfect, and I talk a lot about how you can practice to really improve. So I'll link that up above so you can check that one out, because I think that will really help you guys. But anyway, so with bad art, use it as a motivation to get better. If you don't do the really bad pieces or the pieces that you don't like, then it won't fuel you to want to improve to create those really good pieces. Because if you just did things that you were perfectly happy with, then you wouldn't find things that you need to change and improve on. And so you'll probably just stay stagnant. Whereas there's always pieces that you've got to kind of find faults with so that you can improve. So this is the point where I wish I stopped. I wish I went in with the fine liner and gouache, and I wish I left it like that. Tell me whether you think that I made the right decision to do another layer of watercolor and to keep it dark, or do you think I should have gone in with the fine liner here and the gouache and just made it a lot lighter? I was going for a very light watercolor effect, and I feel like I just completely got rid of that when I added a lot of gouache to it. I really OD'd on the gouache, and I just think it looked a lot better like this. But let me know, you might think different. So again, it's okay to make bad pieces, as I'm going to keep saying. It is fine, don't worry about it. There's a lot of amazing artists that make a lot more bad work that you probably don't know about, because people don't really tend to show their bad pieces. So you might look up to all of these artists and think, wow, everything they do is amazing. You know, they can't do anything wrong, but chances are they probably just aren't showing you their worst pieces, because who wants to display the worst thing that they've done? I mean, no one wants to share what they hate themselves. So I want to do more of this. So with pieces that I mess up on, I want to share them more so that I can talk to you about the fact that everyone's human. We all make mistakes and pieces that we're not proud of, but that doesn't mean we're failure as artists. That just means that we have more reasons to grow, and it's all about growing and the journey as an artist. So it's important to make those pieces that you're not proud of. But anyway, I don't want to keep rambling on about that. So let me know, what are your thoughts about making bad art? Do you think we need to make it? Do you think that it really helps us to improve? And is there any other reasons why you think it's really good to make bad art? So let me know in the comment section, and also let me know about this horse. What do you think I should have done? I really don't know. I don't know whether I made the right call. But anyway, I am going to talk a bit more about my process for creating this horse. So firstly, I did add a layer of watercolors using the Winsor & Newton professional watercolors. And so I wanted to go for this very like watery, splashy effect. So I do create some little splatters all over and some bigger water droplets to make a more interesting look. So I did use a reference photo. Even though this isn't necessarily really realistic, I still wanted to use a reference photo for the anatomy and the shadows, because even though I didn't want it to be super realistic, I still wanted it to look like a horse and have the kind of core elements and structures. So it's really important to get those shadows in and the anatomy right. Then once I did that watercolor and let it dry the first time, I decided to go in again, and I wanted to darken it up because I did want a dark black purple look, but I felt like I've just lost the detail slightly and it just became too dark and there wasn't enough contrast, so I had to try and make that contrast with the white gouache. But in turn, this actually meant that I lost all of the watercolor effect that I was going for. So actually, this was the piece that I did before my owl. So when I did the owl, which I talked about art style, so I'll link that up above, I actually did that one after this. So I used all of the kind of problems and things I wanted to improve on with this piece for that piece, and that one came out so much better. I was much happier with it. And my main problem that I took away from this piece was that I overdid it. I'm used to working in colour pencils where all the time you have to layer, you have to keep building up the colours, and you really have to be controlled with everything you're doing. And it's something that I spend a lot of time on. So for me to switch from that to watercolors, where you do it quite quick and it's pieces that you can finish in a couple of hours, it felt a bit unnatural to me. So I think I have a problem of overdoing it and keep trying to layer the watercolors. And in reality, that doesn't actually make it better. It just means that you lose that watercolor effect and it just becomes muddy. So that's something that I do really want to improve on, because I do want to do a lot more of these watercolor animals in the future. I like to create a whole series on these because I do think that I really like the effect these get, and they're things that look really nice in your home and stuff like that. So I want to create more kind of artwork that can be nicely like put in a house or something. I don't know how to describe that, but I want work that kind of people are more inclined to buy, just because I think it's nice to sell your art and have the thought that people are having it in their house. So if people are more interested in this kind of art and this is something that I really like doing, then I'm going to do more of it. I feel like coloured pencil work is something that is better for like commissions, and people use like coloured pencil work for like pet portraits or like portrait commissions. But I do think with watercolours, this sort of style is really sort of cool and very modern, and I really like that. So you're going to see more of this in the future. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. I do want you to comment as well, what sort of other topics do you want me to discuss? Have you got any suggestions? I really want to hear your suggestions, and I always try to make videos based on your suggestions. So if you suggest something really good, chances are I'll probably make a video on it. So I just finished off with some drips because I always love adding drips to my watercolor work. I would normally like tilt the paper to create the drips, but my paper was taped down to my desk, so I couldn't really do that. Anyway, guys, if you're new to my channel and you enjoyed this art topic, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tick that bell icon to be notified on my future videos. And like I said, if you like this horse and these other animals and want to see me paint them in real time and follow along with me, make sure you check out my Patreon where they're all on there with voiceover, so you can check that out. Anyway, guys, I will see you very soon. Bye, everyone.